Welcome, Hordemates, to another Game Hoarder production. I'm proud to present to you Barrow Hill. It's that time of the year. It's Halloween month. It's time to start doing some creepy, scary shit. I chose this because it looks cool.
You're listening to BHR, your local radio station on top of the world.
And it's got
It's
CG.
exactly 15 minutes to 8, and this is Emma Harry. I'll be with you from now till late past the witching hour, and I'm inviting you to stay right here with me.
Nothing like a little FMV.
It's 15 degrees outside tonight up here on Barrow Hill. The weatherman's trying to spoil it for us. He says we may be in for some rain tonight, but from where I'm sitting, it looks like it will pass us by. This is Emma Harry on top of the world tonight. Not just any night. For those who don't know, it's the autumn equinox. An important date in the Pagan calendar. And you've got 12 hours of darkness ahead. So let's celebrate. Like Alice, we're off down the rabbit hole. I've got 4 in a row for you, coming up right here on
Whoa, what happened? Alright, as you can see, it is a point and click to move and look around. That looks dark. Some mushrooms over here. Looks like we need something here. Some kind of stone slab off in the distance. Feel like you want to look in both directions as you continue forward. There's some kind of bush with some red berries. It's not letting us take anything, though. Why not? Some kind of service station. Cafe. Some cabins. Vending machine. Looks like maybe some outhouses or storage. A playground. And some abandoned vehicles. One is turned on. And a dripping hose. Where in the fuck is everyone? Oh, we got to touch something. Dear Marianne, I hope you're well. The clothes shop is busy. I'll be needing a new nightie soon. Oh wait, this is a chick.
I hope you're well, and the clothes shop is busy. I'll be needing a new nightie soon for the chilly winter nights. The autumn equinox has really sneaked up on me this year. Thank goodness for Saint Aneka. Oh, of all the cheek, have you seen the stamp on this card? It's one of those hideous communication masts for mobile phone signals. It's rather ironic, given that Barrow Hill is one such monstrosity hidden away behind the service station. I wish the thing would get rusty and fall down. Chat again soon. Yours, Elsie.
It's a perfect female voice right there. It didn't sound like a creepy pedophile at all. Alright, so... a mobile phone mast, eh? What we got down here? The fucking Bud Lightyear? And a machine gun? Alright, so we got a Mercedes here. That's probably going to run, inevitably, forever. Alright, we got our first inventory item, a blue crayon. I prefer to take the gun, even though it's probably a toy. Whoa. Cornish Fungi Kingdom. Okay. That goes up here. A beginner's guide to identifying some of the fascinating specimens of the Cornish Fungi Kingdom. Okay, I have a feeling we're going to need our mushroom guide here. Macrolepiota procera. Coprinus comatusa. Psilocybe. Just tell me which one I can trip balls off of. Let's get to it. Alright, so we have a book of mushrooms. Fantastic. Can't pop the trunk. Whoops! Here come the zombies. Feeding seagulls fucks them up. Especially if it's Alka-Seltzer. Cats matches, alright. I kinda gotta take a shit, so. Feeling much better now. Hopefully no one's in here. Interesting. Drop a deuce in the ladies as well, just for good measure. And their dryer is out of order, apparently. But we have an exhaust fan that we can turn on. Maybe I'll leave it on. Maybe I won't. Antiques, Adventureland, freshly cut sandwiches. Learn how to make sandwiches for your husband. Most Ancient Live. Monthly episodes only on 14 TV. Can't get in that way.
Who's out there? Where did you come from? I can see you out there. Oh, it will be me then. What? What? What's there?
Who are you? You can't. It wasn't there. But then it came up. I heard it. They were... And it... Oh my God! The power went. Then there was a huge surge, and all the lights flared in the forecourt. I went into the kitchen, but it was too dark to see. When I came back out, it was there, standing by the motel in the gloom. I couldn't light that stupid lantern anyway. You might need it if you're out there. With that thing, you'll be able to get about easier. If you can get it working. Can't you hear it? Searching. What was it? They told me, don't work up here. My mum, she said it was a bad place. To stay away. Why didn't I listen? Those stupid old stories and the freaks that tell them. Maybe they were right. Stay away. Stay away from the Barrow.
What was meant to be honoured,
All right.
remembered, has
The guy
fallen
seems
into
freaked
ignorance.
out. We got some stones here. Barrow Circle by class 3D. Looks like they're in a certain order here. There are 2 stone circles here at Barrow Hill. A large circle surrounds the base of the hill, and a smaller circle crowns the top, where the ancient Barrow can be found. Barrows are burial mounds. These mounds have sometimes been added to much earlier existing ritual sites and have become the round barrows of today. Later cremated burials have been placed within beakers of pots and added to the existing barrows. Burials may have been made at intervals of several hundred years, spreading from the Bronze Age to the Iron Age and into Roman times. Marked on maps as tumuli, barrows are often found in association with stone circles and other ritual sites. The purpose of the stone circles and rows is unclear, but is generally accepted as ceremonial. Stone rows and alignments may form avenues. Researchers suggest that circles are aligned astronomically or with other ancient sites and natural features. The stone circles at Barrow Hill are thought to have existed since 2500 BC. Megalithic Cornish sites are mysterious ancient places. The earliest Neolithic sites are mystifying chambered tombs which survive from 4500 BC. These tombs originate from long-forgotten era. Today there exists doubt about their original use as funeral sites. Such places became reused, sacred sites for later settlers in Cornwall. During the later period of the Neolithic 2500 BC, henges were introduced to the landscape, large formed enclosures of earth. Shortly after, these sites were reused and augmented with mysterious standing stones, or menhirs, and curious hold stones. Standing tall over the centuries, they have watched the landscape, peoples, religions, and the way of life change. Their purpose is debated and theorized to the present day. With the development of metalworking, the Neolithic era became the Bronze Age, a people known as the Beaker folk, named because of the beakers they left with burials. They began to settle and trade across the already ancient landscape of Cornwall. With them came the first round barrows. The barrows were the burial and ritual sites of the Beaker folk. As the culture of the Beaker folk developed over time, so did the round barrows they left behind. By 2200 BC, their funeral barrows had developed different architectural styles, which we can recognize today. And then we have this Barrow standing stone deal that looks like a distorted face, kind of. Whoa! Barrow Hill Stone Circle from left to right. Well, let's write this down. Balago, Melka, Dolomit, Hammerstone, Henrik, Gavok, and Kalik. Kalich? Ah. By George.
Hounds hunt us for centuries.
Myth and Legends of Barrow Hill.
Hunting us.
The story of Mogred. A long time ago, in the age before our forefathers, the ancient rulers of this land placed upon Barrow Hill the sum of all their magics. For millennia beforehand, the people had fought off the approaching armies of darkness, who dwelt in the dark and stagnant places like an infestation of evil. These creatures of the netherworld had escaped their lower level of existence with the help of Mogred, who now ruled them from twisted labyrinth of Phogos, caves beneath the hill. Mogred had turned to the dark arts and started following the path of the darkest necromancy. His mind and body had deformed with the dark powers until his very soul was possessed with wickedness and festering in evil. The ruling kings banded together and marched upon Barrow Hill, which held the entrance to Mogred's lair. There they began their chants and placed upon the earth a spell that would entomb Mogred and his netherworld minions. To guard the prison, the kings themselves became tall standing rocks encircled about the seal. They have guarded it for centuries to ensure that it would never be opened again. The fall of Balin. The ruler of Cornovia had traveled to Ireland in order to make a bond between the lands of the Celtic faiths. There he met with King Fallow, and they began to build their alliance. All was well until one eve Balin's eyes fell upon Fallow's daughter. She was hot as fuck, and a girl of beauty, and Balin could not help but follow her siren like charm to a tower chamber. There she beckoned him to enter through a doorway. Balin was transfixed by her magic. As the door closed behind him and his mind was lost to the fair lady. I'm experiencing something similar in real life. Suddenly, the tower door burst open, and there stood Fallow. Sword in hand, with one swipe, he smote off Balin's head. Fallow looked around for the girl, who faded away with a mischievous giggle. For it was not really Fallow's daughter, as she had passed away years before. It was, in fact, an imp in disguise, who had ensnared Balin's mind as he had his daughter. Balin's head was taken back to Cornwall by his men and placed upon a stone atop a hill. There it began to speak and instructed them to build a shrine around it. The head would wait until the ancient kingdom of Cornovia was at its greatest peril. At that time he would awake, and his ethereal body would rise from the earth to defend his kingdom. Teeth of the Demon. The earth was still new, its plane of existence green and lush. The most spectacular of the lands was that of Cornwall. Sprites flicked between the trees and plants, tending to them as they went. Their song sang out beautifully and echoed about the lands as far as the Isle of Lyonesse, where lived an evil demon of molten rock and fire who looked upon the lands with contempt and disgust. He had existed long before the land of Cornwall and was jealous of the sprites. Their song of beauty had driven him to despair. Each note burnt his twisted body. He set out one day to take revenge. He burrowed into the ground and began to tunnel from the island towers the mainland, and as he clawed the earth in front of him, he threw the rock back out of his tunnel. It fell from the island to the sea and caused a huge wave. The demon continued to rip open the earth. The spines on his back sliced a groove in the roof of his tunnel, like a massive crack. Finally, the demon reached Cornwall. With a huge roar, he frantically clawed his way out of the ground. His fiery skin tore open the rock, and he pushed his open mouth forward to bellow fire into the sky and turn the forest into ash. He broke the surface at the same time that wave he had created washed over the Isles of Lyonesse and sank it beneath the sea. The strength of his roar caused the tunnel roof to crack open, and cold seawater surged up the tunnel. Reaching the demon, it doused him and smothered his fiery body. He turned to stone as his mouth burst through the forest floor. Today his body lays in slumber beneath Barrow Hill. The earth is still pierced by the teeth from his gaping mouth, and the spines on his back show through the surface. If you stand in the circle of teeth, you can hear the echoes of his dying roar.
Why was it now? Why did I have to be here? Why tonight?
Stone circle, the altar stone. Visit Cornwall. Ancient Cornwall. Alright, we got some pagan and Wiccan magic to study here as well. Welcome one and all, welcome to the magical land of Cornwall. This green landscape is the oldest and deepest of counties which form the ancient British Isles. Fairies and sprites, delightful magical fuckers, exist alongside mankind. They have tended the hedgerows, woodland glades, and fields alongside the green man. Many stories feature the fairy folk and earth sprites. These almost forgotten fables feature tales of great good and also terrible darkness and evil. As you pass through Cornwall's... Wait a minute. That's a typo. They have a typo in their fucking manual. As you pass through Cornwall's green corridors, be aware that the elves and elementals watch you pass. Fearing your destructive nature, please respect the land and it will respect you and your loved ones. We have magic fucking crystals here. Crystals and minerals from the depths of the earth are believed to hold a variety of magical properties. They can be used for good deeds such as healing, love, and self-empowerment. Or you can throw one at your friend's head and fuck him up. Air moves us, fire transforms us, water shapes us, and earth heals us. Says the gay rainbow. Bring life and color to your spells and enchantments. The elements are represented by color, red and orange for fire, yellow and brown for earth, green for water, and blue for air. Purple is used to represent the soul. Think about combining color choices for maximum effect. Our seasons and celebrations, the endless cycle of seasonal change provides us with celebrations and festivals. The position of celestial bodies also influences and dictates our actions and festive moods. We honor our lands and the magic around us. We pay homage to deities and natures, both locally and universally. You have Yule, the winter solstice. You have Imbolg, the festival of lights. Austera, the vernal equinox. Belton, fertility, midsummer, summer solstice. The autumn equinox, which is, I guess, what's going on now here. September, this is the most mysterious of harvest festivals. Night and day are of the exact same length. And welcome in winter and the end of the yearly cycle. Celtic gods walk among us, observing and receiving gifts from the land. and we have Samhain, the Wiccan New Year. Nature, the landscape is filled with fantastic natural magic tended to by the fairy folk. Nature's gifts can be used in our blessings to give potency to our craft. The Old English oak stands proudly with its roots reaching deep into the mother's soil. Its wise leaves shelter us through summer. We gather acorns in autumn, and we use dead wood for fuel in winter. In spring, it signals the seasonal rebirth. We also have the mystical mushroom, Dryad Slumber. It appears throughout autumn, admired by the fairies. They renew their magical powers through harvest and celebration. However, the mushroom is deadly as fuck to man. Don't eat it.
It will be me that is coming out of the darkness. Who's out there?
Probably need to drop a savey
Where
save.
did you come from? I can see you out there.
That work? God damn, this
They
menu
drove
is
in.
terrible.
I started to run. It all happened so fast, so quick. He sat there for so long.
Oh, okay.
Forgotten. Innocent.
I got you.
It will be me that is coming out of the darkness. Why was it now? Why did I have to be here? Why
I don't know. Would you shut the fuck up?
I don't believe it. I can't believe it. The rocks are alive.
Got some growlers down here.
Seen it. It will be looking for me.
Alright, I had to get out of there. The guy was pissing me off. He said something about leaving a lantern in the kitchen when the power cut out. Because he didn't have any matches to light it. But guess who does have matches? Whoa. Interesting. I'm trying to read the menu. I need a hamburger. Scampi in a basket and chips and salad garni. Fish and chips and mushy peas. Any fucking nitwits over there eat some weird shit. Soup of the day and a bread roll. Sausage and mashed potato and onion gravy. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to get the sweet and sour chicken and prawn toast. Oh, here's a burger. With a la fromage. Cheeseburger, yes. We know how to say cheese in French, motherfucker. Whoa. That cupcake looks like a Koopa Troopa. Interesting. You can open it. Well, that's it. Ow! Me hungry! Ow! Look, this is a rejuvenating pastry. Very interesting how this works. Might get some coffee. Or not. It's diggity dark in here. That's going to wrap it up for this episode, folks. Stay tuned for more Barrow Hill.